गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदा नन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवन चारि यमुनातीरवन चारि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय all glories to the small devotees हरे कृष्ण all glories to the small devotees हरे कृष्ण all glories to Guru and Gauranga Hare Krishna devotees welcome to daily Bhagavatam class and my sincere thanks to the temple authorities for giving me this chance. So definitely I am nowhere qualified to do justice to the Vyasasan. Let me try to repeat whatever our acharyas say. And today's verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 20th chapter and 25th verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshva Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Hare Krishna. So I'll share the screen. I hope the screen is visible now. So let us start with word-to-word translation. Then we will go to shloka to become familiar with the wordings. Saha, Lord Brahma, Upavrajya, approaching, Varadam, the bestower of all boons, Prapanna, of those taking shelter at his lotus feet, Arti, distress, Haram, who dispels, Harim, Lord Sri Hari, Anugrahaya, for showing mercy, Bhaktanam, to his devotees, Anurupa, in suitable forms, Atma Darshanam, who manifests himself. So, as mentioned earlier, 3rd canto, 20th chapter, 25th verse. Sa upavrajya vardam prapanarti haram hari anugrahaya bhaktana anurupatma darshanam. Sa upavrajya varadam prapanarti harim anugrahaya bhaktanam anurupatma darshanam. Sa upavrajya varadam prapanarti harim anugrahaya bhaktanam anurupa atma darshanam. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. He approached the personality of Godhead who bestows all boons and who dispels the agony of his devotees and of those who take shelter of his lotus feet. He manifests his innumerable transcendental forms for the satisfaction of his devotees. Purport. Here, the words Bhaktanam Anurupatma Darshanam mean that the personality of Godhead manifests his multi-forms according to the desires of the devotees. For example, Hanumanji, Vrajrangji wanted to see the form of the Lord as the personality of Godhead Ramachandra, whereas other Vaishnavas want to see the form of Radha Krishna, and still other devotees want to see the Lord in the form of Lakshmi Narayana. The Mayavadi philosophers think that although all these forms are assumed by the Lord, just as the devotees desire to see him, actually he is impersonal. From Brahma Samhita, however, we can understand that this is not so, for the Lord has multi-forms. It is said in the Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam. The Lord does not appear before the devotee because of the devotee's imagination. Brahma Samhita further explains that the Lord has innumerable forms. Ramadi, Murtishu, Kala, Nyamana, Tishtan. He exists in millions and millions of forms. There are 84 lakh species of living entities, but the incarnations of the Supreme Lord are innumerable. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that as the waves in the sea cannot be counted but appear and disappear continuously, the incarnations and forms of Lord are innumerable. A devotee attached to a particular form, and it is that form which he worships. We have just described the first appearance of the Boar incarnation, this universe. There are innumerable universes, and somewhere or other, the Boar form is now existing. All the forms of the Lord are eternal. It is devotee's inclination to worship a particular form, and he engages in devotional service to that form. In a verse in the Ramayana, Hanuman, the great devotee of Rama, said, I know that there is no difference between the Sita Rama and Lakshmi Narayana forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but nevertheless, the form of Rama and Sita has absorbed my affection and love. Therefore, I want to see the Lord in the forms of Rama and Sita. Similarly, the Gaudiya Vaishnava loves the forms of Radha and Krishna and Rukmini at Dwaraka. The words Bhaktanam Anurupatma Darshanam mean that the Lord is always pleased to favor the devotee in the particular form in which the devotee wants to worship and render service unto him. In this verse, it is stated that Brahma approached Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This form of the Lord is Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Whenever there is some trouble and Brahma has to approach the Lord, he can approach Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, and it is the grace of the Lord that whenever Brahma approaches about disturbances in the universe, the Lord gives him relief in so many ways. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakriya Tashkurun Militam Yena Tashmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthavitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadantiswa Padantika Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Bhutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamcha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pricharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschasya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Srimate Jayapataka Swami Iti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayane Gauragata Damada Nagara Gramatarine. Hare Krishna devotees. As we know, right now we are discussing about third canto. Let us discuss little background or the same to understand today's verse. Let us have a little discussion on that. The third canto name is the status quo. The status quo in the sense, suppose government passing some amendment and then coming with some agenda or checkpoints to check whether all the amendments are in place or not. So that is the meaning of status quo. That means already creation and annihilation being happened and happening, and that in the form of conversation, especially for this particular 20th chapter, conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. And basically this particular chapter deals with second description of Brahma's creation. Brahma already created as well as annihilated, and as per the canto name suggests, the status quo. That means now the amendment, the devotee is being discussing about all these things. And in this 20th chapter, the conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, the first 8 slokas deals with Saunaka's question about dynasty of Swayambhu Manu. Saunaka we all know. So then the Naimasaranya, the rishis, who is dealing with all the rishis, is a Saunaka rishi. And then he inquires about Swayambhu Manu, all those things being discussed earlier. And then from 9th to 11th verses, Vidura asks about Brahma's creation. So Vidura is wonderful devotee, and he asks about Brahma's creation from Maitreya. Maitreya, who is a friend of the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Maitreya summarizes primary creation. That is from 12th verse to 15th verse. And then Brahma's creation starting from 16th verse to 53rd verse. So we are now today discussion is 25th verse. So this 25th verse also part of this Brahma's creation. So the division of Brahma's creation, before getting into today's topic, there are two more topics already being discussed. The one is under Brahma's creation, the verse number 18 to 21, we discussed about creation of Yakshas and Rakshasas. We'll discuss in detail about all this. And then from verse number 22, creation of Devatas. And then the verse number 23 to 37, creation of Daityas. So creation of Daityas is the today's point of discussion. So we will discuss in detail. And this, as we mentioned, up to 53rd verse, the creation being discussed, it is out of our scope. But let me, give a glimpse about that. The next division of this particular chapter is creation of Gandharvas and Apsaras, and then creation of Bhutas and Pishasas, and then creation of Sandhyas and Pitrus, and then creation of Siddhas and Vidyadharas, and then creation of Kinnaras and Kimpurusas, and then creation of snakes, creation of Manu and others, finally creation of the sages. So now today's discussion is creation of Daityas, which started from 23rd verse. Right now we are in 25th verse. So just quickly I'll read the 23rd and 24th verse to connect to this 25th verse. The 23rd verse speaks about the translation, Lord Brahma then gave birth to the demons from his buttocks, and they were very fond of sex. Because they were too lustful, they approached him for copulation. A short purport for that. Sex life is the background of material existence. Here also, it is repeated that demons are very fond of sex life. The more one is free from the desire of sex, the more he is promoted to the level of the demigods. The more one is inclined to enjoy sex, the more he is degraded to the level of demonic life. So this is a purport. And then little background about 24th verse. That means previous verse. The worshipful Brahma first laughed at their stupidity, but finding the shameless Asuras close upon him, he grew indignant and ran in great haste out of fear. Purport. Sexually inclined demons have no respect even for their father, and the best policy for a saintly father like Brahma is to leave such demonic sons. So now we will get into today's verse after this consequence. This is anarthas. So the little background, it's like a problem statement for today's verse. Excuse me. And see this anarthas, in Kali Yuga, we rarely could find the one who is away from Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Macharya. If anybody says, I am totally renounced and I am away from this, it is very highly impossible in Kali Yuga to see such a, wonderful soul, right? But we all are part of this Kali Yuga and all these anarthas. Not only the sexual inclined anarthas, in any anartha is concerned, this is the solution for that. So that is what today's verse is going to deal about this. Then what happened to Brahma? Brahma, after seeing the consequences of this Daityas, what happened? He approached the personality of Godhead, who bestows all boons and who dispels the agony of his devotees. Agony means the mental torture as well as the physical torture. And of those who take shelter of his lotus feet, he manifests his innumerable transcendental forms for the satisfaction of his devotees. That is a mercy of the Lord. Now let us look into the purport of this. Here the words Bhaktanam Anurupatma Darshanam mean that the personality of Godhead manifest is multi-forms according to the desire of the devotees. For example, Hanumanji, Vajrangji wanted to see the form of the Lord as the personality of Godhead Ramachandra, whereas other Vaishnavas want to see the form of Radha Krishna, and still other devotees want to see the Lord in the form of Lakshmi Narayana. The Mayavadi philosophers think that although all these forms are assumed by the Lord, just as the devotees desire to see him, actually he is impersonal. No. Mayavadis claim that after seeing this, they wrongly think he is impersonal like that. Lord is a person, Satchidananda Vigraha. From Brahma Samhita, however, we can understand that this is not so, for the Lord has multi-forms. What is there in Brahma Samhita? It is said in the Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam. We'll discuss that later. The Lord does not appear before the devotee because of the devotee's imagination. Brahma Samhita further explains that Lord has innumerable forms. Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamana Tishtam. He exists in millions and millions of forms. So we'll go to the discussion, then we'll come to the purport. Here, in the beginning we discussed, this is the topic under Daityas. So who is Daityas? Let us understand from Bhagavad Gita 10.30 purport. The sons of Aditi are called Adityas, and the sons of Diti are called Daityas. In previous chapter and even previous chapter, we know what is the position of Diti and how she gets birth without of lust. That is the reason, Daityas. They all call it as Daityas. All the Daityas are atheistic. All the Adityas are devotees of the Lord. Although Prahlad was born in the family of Daityas, he was great devotee from his childhood. So we know the background of how Prahlad Maharaj, though he is from the lineage or the parampara of Daityas, how he has become. So we all know Hiranyakashipu told to his wife, saying that I'll go for doing a tapasya for about 100 years. Then he went to forest and he sat down, stood somewhere, and he about to do meditate. In the neighboring bush or nearby place, some pure devotee who was meditating on the Lord, chanting of Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then the demonic people like Daityas could not tolerate the Lord's glory or the Lord's pastimes. Then immediately he came back home and he narrated the whole story to his wife, and he was telling about the incident, what happened when he went for doing tapasya. He told his wife, saying that I went to forest, started meditating on, to get materialistic benefit. Then immediately I hear the sound, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then his wife, Prahlad Maharaj, mother, heard this. Then they both, joined together, and then Prahlad Maharaj, took form. So in that background, here the Shravanam and Kirtanam happened between these Daityas. Then they also got purified. Prahlad Maharaj is the outcome of that particular incident. So Shravanam and Kirtanam is the very fundamental process in the spiritual journey. And then we discussed about Rama. So let us understand, little glories about the Lord Rama. In the specific incarnation of Rama, the Lord acts as the ideal human being. He is the perfect human being, Lord. That is the main purpose of, the incarnation. Not only that, from Ramayana, we are, getting the ideal son, ideal brother, ideal husband, ideal king. So these are the examples. Ideal son, he obeys, right? He has to go to forest, Lord Rama. And then ideal brother, we all know the qualities of Lakshmana and, all his brothers. And ideal husband, so how one supposed to be, showing affection towards the wife. Rama is the perfect example. And then ideal king, Rama Rajya. We know Rama Rajya, no one can find even a minute fault of his ruling. Then the Ramayana, the history of Lord Rama is filled with exemplary behavior of the Lord and his associates. And they all show ideal examples. Sita shows the ideal of the chaste wife. Lakshmana and Bharata of faithful brothers. Lakshmana and Bharata are faithful brothers. The Ramayana is full of ideal examples that we are meant to follow. Ideal father, ideal son, ideal brother, ideal husband, ideal wife, ideal servant, ideal ruler, and so on. Keep on, we can deal about so many points from Ramayana. So this is the pure, purpose of Rama's incarnation. And Hanumanji, Bajrangji, got attracted that particular form, Rama and Sita. So he got attracted with that. And even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Murari Gupta. So he is also a follower of Rama and Sita. Both are same, Lord Krishna's form. And, we'll discuss, about little detail about all these things. And then in the second, point, it is mentioned that, the Gaudiya Vaishnava, they all meditate on Radha Rani and Sri Krishna. So we know Krishna's, pastimes and, qualities. He has got 64 qualities. Prabhupada very nicely, took from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, I think. So the Lords are pure devotees, 64 qualities. That means only Lord can possess 64 qualities, and our Acharyas would possess or nearby those qualities. And let us understand why Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnavas aspiring or meditate on Radha Krishna form. Krishna possesses 64 transcendental qualities. Srimati Radharani has 25 transcendental qualities. But she can control even Krishna by them. Her transcendental qualities are as follows. How many transcendental qualities Krishna has? Krishna has 64. And Srimati Radharani has 25. With this 25, she controls or, under the attraction of 64 qualities, got attracted within this 24 qualities. What are those 25 qualities? To understand more about Srimati Radharani. So recently, Radhastami we all celebrated, and she is sweetness personified. We all know Madhuram. Srimati Radharani is sweetness. She is a fresh young girl. Number 3, her eyes are always moving. These are the qualities of Srimati Radharani. Number 4, she is always brightly smiling. Number 5, she possesses all auspicious marks on her body. Number 5. Number 6, she can agitate Krishna by flavor of her person. She can agitate Madana, Mohana, Mohini. So even Cupid got attracted with Krishna. Krishna got attracted with Srimati Radharani by her service. She is expert in the art of singing. She can speak very nicely and sweetly. She is expert in presenting feminine attractions. She is modest and gentle. She is always very merciful. She is transcendentally cunning. She knows how to dress nicely. She is always shy. She is always respectful. She is always patient. She is very grave. She is enjoyed by Krishna. She is always situated on the highest devotional platform. She is the abode of love of the residents of Gokula. She can give shelter to all kinds of devotees. She is always affectionate to superiors and inferiors. She is always obliged by the dealings of her associates. She is the greatest amongst Krishna's girlfriends. She always keeps Krishna under her control. The Lord is a Bhakta Vachala, right? So one should not think, Srimati Radharani is above Krishna like that. So Lord is always, Bhakta Vatsala. So he obeys, devotees, wish and will. And also, Dasanu Dasa. Who wins in that? Lord only wins in the race of Dasanu Dasa. In Sri Sampradaya, we say, they say, Adiyenak Adiyen. Dasanu Das. But in Kali Yuga, we all are, my Siksha Guru Vidura Madhav Das always quotes this example. In Kali Yuga, everybody is trying to be Basanu Bas. That is the reason we took birth in this, Kali Yuga, this Buloka. Krishna means all attractive. 24 qualities of Srimati Radharani we have discussed. And since he attracts everyone to him, but Srimati Radharani attracts even Krishna. Excuse me. Although Krishna says, Vedaham Samatitani, I know everything, he fails to understand Radharani. Lord Krishna knows everything, but he fails to understand Radharani. Krishna is Achyuta. Krishna is Achyuta. Achyuta means there are two meanings. One, the one who never falls. Achyuta means. And another meaning is inconceivable. Krishna is inconceivable. But for him, Radharani is inconceivable. Krishna could not understand the mood of a devotee, pure devotee. Radharani is so great, Krishna thought, I am full. I am complete in every respect, but still I want to understand Radharani. This question obliged Krishna to accept the propensities of Radharani to understand himself. So 500 years ago, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of Krishna and with the pure mood of pure devotee, like Srimati Radharani. In the mood of Srimati Radharani and with her golden complexion as his own greatest devotee. Krishna did this to understand the depth of devotion of Srimati Radharani, and also Lord gave the Maha Mantra in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this Kali Yuga. So no other alternate in Kali Yuga other than chanting the name of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. And also in the purport we discussed about Hanumanji mentions about, though he knows Lakshmi Narayana is non-different from Rama and Sita, but even though he desires to meditate on the form of Sita and Rama. Let us understand about Lakshmi Narayana also a little bit from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 14th chapter, 24th verse. Riches come from Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. And the goddess of fortune is the property of Narayana. Very important point. Riches comes from Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. The goddess of fortune is the property of Narayana. But only we worship, Lakshmi Devi, please give me, wealth, that, this and that. But you go to Narayana, Narayana possessing Lakshmi, also. The goddess of fortune cannot say anywhere, cannot stay anywhere, but by the side of Narayana. Therefore, another of her name, she cannot be peaceful unless she is in the company of her husband. That is Sanchala. Another name for Lakshmi Devi is Sanchala. She cannot be in one place. Money will be moving from one person to another person, even to whom? Narayana. For example, Lakshmi was carried away by the materialistic Ravana. We know with whom in Kali Yuga, so much of Lakshmi. So we all are the, evidence for Kali Yuga, who is possessing so much of, wealth, we all know very well. And then in Brahma Samhita, it is stated, I worship the primeval Lord Govinda who is the original personality of Godhead, by his partial planary expansion, Mahavishnu, he entered into the material nature and then into each and every universe, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu and then Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, into all the elements, including every atom of matter. We'll go back to the perfect. Again, we will discuss about this detail. Such manifestations of cosmic creation are innumerable, both in the universes and in the individual atoms. So here, once again, we'll go back to the purport where we left. He exists in millions and millions of forms. There are 84 lakh species of living entities, but the incarnations of the Supreme Lord are innumerable. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that as the waves in the sea cannot be counted, but appear and disappear continually, the incarnations and forms of the Lord are innumerable. So we know only 84 lakh species of living entities, but all these living entities can meditate on innumerable forms of the Lord. A devotee is attached to a particular form, and it is that form which he worships. We just described the first appearance of the Boar incarnation, Boar within the universe, this universe. Today, now we are in 20th chapter. In 19th chapter, we discussed about Boar incarnation. There are innumerable universes, and somewhere or other, the Boar form is now existing. All the forms of the Lord are eternal. So here we stop the purport. Once again, we will go to the detail of this. Lord takes innumerable form. So let us understand about 6 different, whatever it may be the innumerable form or whatever it may be the planet, the planetary system. All those incarnation we can not be, in the sense, Lord took or the Lord gives in different types of avatars. There are 6 types of avatars. One is innumerable incarnation, like the example which we have seen, like the ocean waves, keep on, it is coming, and the tidal keep on coming to the beach and then going back, coming and, going back. Like that, Lord also taking innumerable forms to protect the devotees, to annihilate, the duskrutas. So all these incarnations coming under this 6 category. Let us have little detail, understanding about these 6 incarnation, types of incarnation. The first one is Purusha Avatara. Purusha Avatara examples are Krishna first incarnates as the, let me read all 6 avatars first. Purusha Avatara, Leela Avatara, Guna Avatara, Manvantra Avatara, Yuga Avatara, then Sakti Avesha Avatara. Let us discuss one by one. Purusha Avatara. Krishna first incarnates as the 3 Purusha avatars. There are 3 Purusha avatars. It is associated with our purport of today's verse also. Karnodakashayi Vishnu, the Lord who is lying on the causal ocean. So we know the Vishnu who is lying on the causal ocean. His name is Karnodakashayi Vishnu. And then Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Who is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu? The Lord who is lying on the universal ocean. Causal ocean, universal ocean. And today's discussion is Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Brahma approached Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. We'll discuss more about Kshirodakashayi Vishnu also. The Lord who is lying on the ocean of milk. And Kshirodakashayi Vishnu has got wonderful quality. In each and every atom, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu's, we can realize. These are the 3 Purusha avatars. Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, Karnodakashayi Vishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. All these 3 comes under Purusha avatara. And some of the avatars will repeat in any of these 6. That is also another understanding. The second one, as we read, Leela Avatara. Leela Avatara, a list of Leela Avatara is the pastimes incarnation mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. 4 Kumaras, Narada Muni, Varaha, Matsya, Yajna, Naranarayana, Kardama Muni, Kardami, Dattatreya, Haishrisha, Hamsa, Prasnigarbha, or Dhruva Priya, Rishabha, Prithu, Narsimha, Kurma, Dhanvantri, Mohini, Vamana, Bhargava, Parasurama, Ramachandra, Vyasa, Pralambari, Balrama, Krishna, Buddha, Kalki. These all are Leela Avatar. They came to this world and they performed, their pastimes. Like, for example, we all know Narsimha Avatara. So, what is the purpose of Narsimha Avatara? The demonic, the extreme demonic person who is Hiranyakashipu and who is giving trouble to pure devotee, who is so popularly known for Smaranam, Prahlad Maharaj. Keep on, he was troubling Prahlad Maharaj. Then Lord Narsimha appears and we all know the pastime. This particular avatara, we call it, this type of avatara, we call it as Leela Avatara. With Lord's own will, Lord comes. And then third one is Guna Avatara. What is this Guna Avatara? This Guna Avatara deals with Vishnu assumes this Guna Avatara post, Sattva Guna, mode of goodness, and then Rajoguna, mode of patience, and Tamoguna, mode of ignorance. Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva. So they all are, responsible for Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. Guna Avatara. So Lord manifests in the form of these three gunas also. Like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. Everyone came, from Vishnu, Brahma came. From Brahma, Shiva came. So like that. Then Manvantara Avataras. Fourth type is Manvantara Avatara. Brahma's day, we know 1000 Chatur Yugas is divided into 14 periods of the rules of Manu, father of mankind. This is called Manvantara, all the Manus. The incarnations during these Manvantaras are listed as follows. There is Yajna, Vibhu, Satyasena, Hari, Vaikunta, Ajita, Sarvabhama, Rashabha, Vishwasena, Dharma, Sudama, Yogeshwara, Brahad, Banu. So these are the Manvantara Avataras. And then there are so many Manus, 16 I think. And then Yuga Avatar. Yuga Avataras. So there are 4 Yugas we all know. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. So Lord will incarnate based on the Yuga Avatara. Right? And 6th one is Satya Avesha Avatara. So we all know in the previous one I am talking, Yuga Avatara. In Dwapara Yuga, Sri Krishna appeared. And in Kali Yuga, yellow Avatara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that, Satya Yuga, Kardama Muni. Like that, keep on, in each and every Yuga, we can name Lord's incarnation. And last one, 6th one is the Satya Avesha Avatara, empowered incarnation. There is no limit to the number of Satya Avesha incarnation, but some are mentioned in the Vedic literatures. They are of 2 kinds, direct and indirect. Again, further divisions are there in Satya Avesha Avatara, direct and indirect. When the Lord himself expands, displaying a particular power of his opulence is known as Sakshat. Call it as Sakshat. When he empowers a living entity with some particular Shakti, power for some specific activity to represent him, that living entity is called indirect or Avesha. Right? So, Satya Avesha Avatara. That is indirect. Avesha incarnation, 4 Kumaras, Narada Muni, Brahma, King Prathu, Vyasa. They are the empowered incarnation. So as I mentioned, some places it may repeat also. So whatever it may be the innumerable incarnation, everything comes under these six avatars. One is Purusha Avatara, Leela Avatara, Guna Avatara, Manvantara Avatara, Yuga Avatara, Sakti Avesha Avatars. So this is about little understanding for the pure devotees and lots, different types of avatars. As we read in the purport, Lord keep on takes innumerable avatars in innumerable planetary system. And here in the purport, it is more emphasized about Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. Let us discuss more about Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu and then we will conclude with the purport. What is the uniqueness about Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu? From Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, so we know, that Guna, what is it? Different avatara, Purusha Avatara. So they all are Purusha Avataras. We should know the order of, the Purusha Avatara. First is Karnodaka Sai Vishnu. The second is Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And third is Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. So we will discuss more about Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, in whom is completed the Virat Purusha. With these three incarnations, the gigantic combination of the Virat, Purusha Rupa. And then Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu is expansion of the Kshirodaka Sai, Vishnu, who is the collective Paramatma. So Kshirodaka Sai also considered as complete collective Paramatma. And further detail from Srimad Bhagavatam, Sankarsana in this group is the original cause of three Purushas, namely Karnodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu is situated in every universe in a special planet called Sweta Deepa. So this is the beauty of Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, where he resides also. And not only that, within this universe is a planet called Sweta Deepa, where Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu is situated. This is further detail about Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. And then, while further from Srimad Bhagavatam, while in trance, Lord Brahma heard the words of Lord Vishnu vibrating in the sky. Thus he told the demigods, O demigods, hear from me the order of Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, the Supreme Person. From me, from Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, the lotus flower sprouts, and then Brahma came. So that is the beauty of Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. So always Brahma has got direct contact with Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. So that is understanding why in this purport, Prabhupada mentioned particularly about Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, because direct contact, to the Brahma through Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. So here, the further purport mentioned, the words Bhaktanam Anurupatma Darshanam mean that the Lord is always pleased to favor the devotees in a particular form in which the devotee wants to worship and render service unto him. In this verse, it is stated that Brahma approached Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We know the consequences, why he approached, the Daityas, the unqualified, atheist, and they all, with illicit relation, like Prabhupada mentioned, illicit relation. So all these Daityas are perfect example for all this illicit relation. And Prabhupada always, says, don't dig so deeper into all these anarthas. Say, for example, the stool, whichever you discuss, from top to bottom or bottom to top, still, it smells bad only, right? Many people watching TV with so much of crime, so much of, detail about what happened to others' family. And there are so many TV channels, media, we know they all are making, tempting, by exposing all these, bad smells. Like whatever you dig, it will come under, either illicit relation or, gambling or, intoxication, because of intoxication or because of, meat eating. All these things only, will be there in the newspaper and everywhere. So Prabhupada always says, cut off all those activities. Don't dig too much into that, right? suppose in one of the temple class I heard, one devotee, he wants to go to US. That time in the checklist, so many categories are there. Some of the categories we cannot, discuss also. Say, for example, are you single? Are you married? Are you gay? Are you lesbian? Are you so and so? Blah 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 blah. See, that is a Kali Yuga, right? Here is a perfect example from our, forefathers. And whenever there is some trouble and Brahma has to approach the Lord, he can approach Kshirodakashai Vishnu, and it is the grace of the Lord that whenever Brahma approaches about disturbances in the universe, the Lord gives him relief in so many ways. So Lord always gives, relief in so many ways. That is the reason Lord took these many innumerable incarnations, and we discussed about, 6 different types of incarnation. And in Brahma Samhita, it is concluded that I am relating, the proof for Brahma stated like this: I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is the original personality of Godhead. By his partial planetary expansions, Mahavishnu, he enters into material nature and then into each and every universe, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, in the form of Garbhodakashai Vishnu. And then Kshirodakashai Vishnu into all the elements. Very important point. Why Lord Brahma approached Kshirodakashai Vishnu? Because Kshirodakashai Vishnu into all the elements, including every atom of matter. Such manifestation of cosmic creation are innumerable, both in the universes and in the individual atoms. So this is the real meaning of the purport of this particular verse. And let me quickly summarize, what Prabhupada, trying to explain in this purport. The first thing is, devotee has got one will to meditate on any particular form, either Lord Rama and Sita, Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani, Lord Narayana and Narsimha. But the Mayavadis, by seeing this, they may claim that, is impersonal. No, it is not. Prabhupada very nicely gives example. Lord is pervaded everywhere. Mayavadis are accepting. Why not inside the temple in the form of Sachidananda Vigraha? That is, bogus philosophy from Mayavada philosophy. And then Brahma Samhita is the proof. In Brahma Samhita further explains Lord has innumerable forms, millions and millions of forms. We have discussed more elaborately about 6 types of avatars. And then a devotee is attached to a particular form, and it is stated that so devotee can worship in one particular form. Nothing wrong in that. There are innumerable universes, and somewhere or other the Bohr form is now existing. In the previous chapter, Prabhupada is relating Bohr incarnation took place just to annihilate Hiranyaksha, right? And then further understanding, Prabhupada gives here how Hanuman declares, though I know Lakshmi Narayana is none other than Rama and Sita, but still my what I can say, particular, I would like to engage devotional service to meditate on this particular form. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also we can find so many examples like this. And then in Gaudiya Vaishnava we discussed about Srimati Radharani and Krishna, and in Rukmani and Dwaraka. And what is special, why Gaudiya Vaishnavas meditate on Srimati Radharani and Krishna? In one of the lecture I heard, all other devotees proposed to Krishna, only Krishna got attracted to Srimati Radharani. That is the only difference. That is the power of Srimati Radharani. That means Madana, Mohana, Mohini. So that is the reason we the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya meditates on Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And whenever there is some trouble and Brahma has to approach the Lord, he can approach Shirodakshai Vishnu, and it is the grace of the Lord that whenever Brahma approaches about disturbances in the universe, the Lord gives him relief in so many ways. So this is the beauty of, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the take-home message for the day. And once again, thanks for joining all the devotees. If there are any questions or suggestions, you are most welcome. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. If no questions or suggestions, once again, thanks for joining. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Pranam to you.
Prabhuji, thank you very much for this wonderful session. I like the detailing that you provide in every session. This is very good for us. Thank you for the insights.
Thank you. Thanks for allowing me to purify myself. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thanks to all the devotees.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.